Three things. Hold the security agencies responsible for a failure of security. There should be consequences. You cannot sit down there and say you're a DPO, you're a commissioner of police, or you are GOC, and crime is being committed in your domain. Hold them responsible. Reform the judiciary. Spearhead the reformation of the judiciary to decentralize it completely, right? It will require us having maybe 3-4 times or maybe even 10 times more judges that we have, but ensure that whoever is a judge, there are consequences for it. And of course, address the economy. And you must find local solutions. The IMF or the World Bank would not give you those textbook solutions. It has to be an indigenous solution to our problem. I told you about the issue of subsidy. They tell us there's subsidy. But when you look at it critically, is there really subsidy? If I take 5% or 10% of my produce and use it for myself, am I subsidizing myself? You know, when you look at all those things, indigenizing the economy, making sure that your people are productive, right? There's no glamour in saying your people are going through hard times. It's not a glamorous thing. It's a failure of your leadership. If I'm head of a family, I want my family to have the best of everything. I don't want life to be difficult to them. If life is difficult and I feel I've failed to provide for them or do the things I ought to have done. So we need to see it in that way. We need to see, I would ask him to see the Nigerian nation as his family. What is good for your family is good for the nation. If you adopt that mental attitude, that I'm going to make sure that the Nigerian is able to live a fulfilled life. And when I talk of productivity, I'm talking about acquiring the right skills, acquiring a good education, having good health care, putting the infrastructure in place, and ensuring that there's orderliness and security in the society. Then I can now beat my chest. Buying a new aircraft or yacht or whatever, or living large, and it's a failure. It's a failure. I mean, you can't have kids who are hungry and you are living lavishly and going to parties and wearing the biggest agbada. We need to, when there's a protest is like your kids coming to tell you that, Daddy, I'm not happy with you. I have failed. You have failed to do this and do that for me. I would ask him to really rethink a number of things that are going on and test his policies. The policy of floating the currency, I think, was a mistake because it wasn't thought through. Because the largest pressure on the Nigerian currency is the importation of fuel. And the way it's being done is fueled by corruption. So we're paying the price for it. I mean, if you take care of the things that ought to have been taken care of, like I said, the things that we can manufacture here, we insist, increase tariff on things that we really don't need to dissuade people from seeking to import them, encouraging people to manufacture the things that you can give concessions to young men, go produce this, we'll assure you that the market is there for it and all that, and we will not encourage others, we will dissuade others from importing those items because we're going to hike the tariff on those things. We need to focus on productivity, guarantee farmers purchase of their produce. So if I tell you go grow a hectare of cocoa, I'm guaranteeing you that I will purchase your cocoa, right? Today the farmer not only grows his cocoa, he has to market his cocoa, he has to do all sorts of things. He should just focus on producing the crop. There should be agencies, private sector and government, largely private sector, guaranteed by government, take whatever you can at the price. So at the beginning of the farming season, we tell you that, okay, for oil palm or cassava, this is what we're going to pay you at the end of the farming season when we're harvesting. So there's that certainty that we're working on. Those are the things that we need to be doing at this time. But we need to indigenize the way we think. What these folks in Washington or New York can never solve our problems. It's alien to them, and the solutions to our problem has to be domesticated.